that's come through from the guys over in Frankfurt, where it's basically been this run through a play-in into an LCQ, a 36-team play-in into a 16-team LCQ. One team came out of it, and they are that one team. That's a cool story already.
Well, for GX, they'll be the first team put to the test in the Tier 1. Not just them on trial, it's the whole system. See if people have got complacent, and if the new blood can really do some damage. Early aggression towards B. Westside's the man who's got to cut this off, and he'll take both. A beautiful start for the attack side. Route back to B could be open, but with a minute 10 on the clock, GX have no pressure from the time.
Yeah, of course, for every side, including GX, this is now the run towards champions. The door isn't closed, but it's just very far away. Think of it like a Alice in Wonderland. It's the tiny door. You're gonna have to sort of get a little bit closer for it to enlarge at least a little. And for GX, I think there's been a lot to be desired. A statement victory here, though, and while maybe we start to change our tune. They've always been a team that has been good at making it to champs. Maybe if it is in the most unconventional and unpredictable ways. But Westside, I think he has been consistent, and 3 kills already in this pistol round is not a bad start.
From the day he stepped foot on our stage, he has been a consistent factor indeed. Normally seen with the Sheriff, or back in the old days he was, but as deadly with anything. For Eintracht Frankfurt, the way back in.
One enemy remaining.
Not looking all too likely, and certainly not easy with Aris standing in front of them. 1-0 for GX, and they start this out with an in-zone flawless.
Yeah, very comfortable. Of course, coming into the map pool in general, this was something that was intriguing to me. I think the Summit being up last is always going to be a fun one, considering we've not seen either of these teams play. And it is worth noting that I don't believe the more recent stages we've seen in the Tier 2 had that map or Sunset in there. So there were definite opportunities for GX to try and play with the map pool. But this first map of Lotus is one that should heavily favor the newcomers. They are a squad that has been 6-1 over the last few months, and well, at least in Stage 2, GX have not played this map.
It's worth mentioning that a lot of people out there are going to look at those Tier 2 teams as the favorites in these matchups. They've been tested in a real way. GX, and indeed the franchise teams in general, they're a fortress that has only been shelled in theory. And now these Tier 2 teams come in to see if they are the cannons that can really do the damage. At least to start it, you can see Westside's confident. You heard him there. I'm telling you, I'm sitting these guys down. And, well, that was certainly the case in the pistol with his 3K. We'll see if it holds water as the series continues. For GX, opening pick here against the pistols, avoiding the stack as well by chance or not. They've left only one behind, and it's Flickless, a man with a pistol. And as far as the wiggle room GX have here, with 2 pistols brought in, they can still see a couple kills go against them and be happy enough with how things play out. Flickless is going to try to... Oh! Nice shot onto Fizzy. That was a clean little flick. And he's got the info, so now they just execute into C. Nice and easy. Extra paranoia to be safe. And a plant found with these. The challenge here is to get any more damage for these defenders. It's not an easy one.
It's unlikely. Especially within the post plant. I think also what will be interesting to see with the sort of difference in the format, obviously the last few years we've talked about that road to ascension, the chance to join the Tier 1, whereas initially it didn't seem like the greatest thing in the world. We had teams like Apex, unfortunately not able to really do too much, but then you look at the teams from last year that came up, you're talking about BBL making it to an international, and even though Eternal Fire haven't quite done that yet, they've been in contention. An extra kill at least for Azuri. We'll drop 1 additional pistol, but the rifles will all be kept. And so every major weapon has gone forward.
Yep, the margin for error still playing within for GX. A flawless round to start. A clean follow-up as well. And for either teams in this series, I think momentum being a massive factor. Can you imagine being the first team from franchise being pushed to the limit by the Tier 2 teams? The word fraud floats around in your head. But for GX, having a strong start as well, as we saw from Westside in that replay, It gives you that confidence that
Well,
you are a tier
Showstopper as
above
well.
for a reason.
Yeah, Showstopper in your first buy round. It's used immediately. Gemelino, the youngster, someone we were highlighting, so young coming into this matchup. But he's been wrecked immediately in the first buy round. In fact, he's been wrecked in the first 3 rounds. And for someone so young making his way onto this stage, just 16 years old, that's not the way you want to start.
No. Now the early bloomer withered away. As soon as those barriers went up, he goes down, and, well, the C side left open now as the group up from the defense towards A. They see nothing as they waited for enemies to crash against their gates. Now they find Flickless still waiting in that same position as last round, but his wall gets him out, gets him into another position while the rest of the team works towards C and B. Flickless, same as in the pistol, he is keeping them on this side of the map. He's a thorn in their side, and he's already drawn blood. 2 players left, while GX are sporting no scars. This is about as good of a start to the series as you could have imagined.
30 seconds left.
Right, and a map that they don't play. The only thing against them now is the time and Azuri.
Perfect.
Now he does still have a snake bite, but finding any way to use it is impossible, and he's left completely blind. Look at the assist. Pinged up by a paranoia, a snake bite, and then even the haunt at the end. There was no way out of that one. And
Spike planted.
oh, this is looking like a nightmare start for SGE. They have got 1 man standing, a chance for 4 of the 5 players to be 0-3 at the end of this round. Maybe that early pressure starting to be placed onto their shoulders. Okay, it will only be 3 of them, or will it be 0-3? Monster at least going to get himself an exit kill, and he's definitely one of the players that I want to see get going. Obviously making it in the past. But it always seems like a long road back to that top flight, and GX 3-0 on the board early on. This has been a fantastic start for them.
And for the players over on that defensive side, on Eintracht Frankfurt,
1 enemy remaining.
being dismantled like this right away, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause to steady the nerves, steady the ship ahead of what is clearly some stormy waters, but it looks like they're going to roll right back into this. Pistols across the board, the Sheriff's coming into play. A bit of aggression attempted towards C main this time, get that early control. But it looks like GX also have an idea of their own. This time, not leaving Flickless on his own on that side of the map. They have their defensive utility covering off that push through C, covering off B. Westside's got all that responsibility while the rest will simply work on the A side. They feigned the control here and rotated back a number of times. And I think now against this low buy, they'll want to play finishing into the A side. What seems to be the play. Whoa.
I think you can just see as well, though, the amount of control that's being held onto by Westside. Like, they've been playing depth on their lurks, swapping it up and maybe trying to figure out.
Toxin screen down.
Well, Monster is now going to go looking.
You die.
First goes his way. Holding on to this should be an impossibility, but he is buying time, and he's going to run out of bullets before anything more can be done. That's going to be all the positions revealed. Looks like they were going to continue this one forward, though, but at the last second, now with Ara taking so much space, they're going to go back again.
Now, they've done a wonderful job here. Again, what have they done every round? Play towards A, finish towards the C site. So they make it look like that is the play yet again. And instead, they fill in that space. But Ara making it all the way towards that B con. It made them think that they could go for the B plant instead. But now it might give Eintracht Frankfurt a position to fight from. Man advantage on the defense. They'll look to take this together. And it seems like 3 coming in from heaven. Take a peep at their utility. Still a paranoia to play with him. From where Fizzy is now, he could easily land that onto 2 players. The smoke up as well. It doesn't go to main. There's still a chance for Westside, but the Viper Wall's going to block him out, and they didn't clear the blindsided player. Westside cleaning house, man. The wall went up to keep him out of main, but he just stepped right in. Gorgeous work for GX, and well, just like he said in the pistol round, Westside is sitting them down.
Yeah, it's a little bit closer than I think they would have liked in a round like that. Like the rotations back and forth. I think being caught in a couple of interesting battles. I'm not really sure how Monster survived anywhere near as long as he did, but It is going to be the conversion out on Westside. This is the thing. I think when you are a player like him, maybe a player like Ara on his day, you come in against players that, like, biometric are said to be on a lower level than you, and you just come in hyper confident. Yet to see the rest of the team have that.
Like they're a puppet with their strings being pulled by their opposition. Westside 8-2 at the moment. A red hot start for him. But the buy back up from the defense. 3 players towards Mound this time, and it's going to be a challenge for GX to deal with, unlike the others. They've got aggression coming their way. Let's listen in for this epic moment.
One down. Listen, he has A. Can we just hold for a second?
Vai para si.
Yeah.
Buddha. Okay, listen, I think Waltz here. Can we throw God Smoke and then we bait it and then leave?
Yeah, wait. One guy was spamming me from side, guys. On 9.
I think this guy's gonna be in the open, okay? Wait, I'm gonna probably close.
Yeah.
Wait, after the bubble, okay? I think they're gonna fight after the bubble. Hold.
Yeah, hold.
Could be.
We are good, boys. Chill down a bit.
Yep, we're
I
good.
have nothing to fight with, really.
It was vai para vencer, okay?
You have blind Jesse or no?
No.
Okay, listen, you guys are gonna double peek bend, I'm gonna Prowler, okay? Wait.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Prowler.
Be ready? Prowling? Close. They're fighting.
On top.
One
Close.
Close left.
Spike down. C.
Can you leave or no?
One pot share.
He's close.
Last player
see.
standing.
Why is never spotted?
I think Visor's A this round.
A big round from Musashi. Put them into a 2v1, but this has been the final boss so far. Westside 8-2. In his own words, sitting them down. Well, now 2 bodies to put
Cage triggered.
back into the ground. The cage across might draw some util or spam, and he's down to 11 HP already. Not an ideal start. And where can he go from here?
I like this. They're just sitting back and playing it as a duo. Not giving him too much to play with. It needs to be instant headshots and, well, maybe even a slight move from Musashi at the end. Maybe a bit nervous, but it is a round onto the board for Eintracht Frankfurt as well. A start, at least. And with this defensive half, at least over the last month or so, or a couple of months, I should say, being their better of the two, it's important, I think, that they get on it, at least early enough.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, I think the way that, especially the first 3 rounds went, because there was a much better sign in that 4th with the pistols, but the first 3 looked very dominant, and we needed to see a round on the board soon. Now we've seen Westside put into the ground as well in that clutch moment, and GX, they taste their first defeat. The defense came off the back of a triple stack towards the side of the map that GX did try to pressure. They had the boots in the ground. Right place, right time. We need to see it repeated.
Yeah, and also even then, it was cleaned up relatively well from GX. It was just Musashi coming out with 3. Like, if he doesn't
like
have that
double spray
multi-frag,
down.
yeah, it's not a round that goes away. And he gets his ult in the middle of it. And that's so it's not the most repeatable round in the world. They do have an ult or 2, but Ara already back up to that showstopper once again. It was enough to take down Gemalino in the last. Although Flickless is already tagged. And actually, Jamalino's managed to clear out that final boss of Westside. He's gone. No more lurk. And a lot of players now set up and ready on this A side, which might not be the best thing with the showstopper.
Let's fire it a little late. Monster escapes. Nade up to keep them back. Musashi's taking position, though. He's looking for the fight, but he's been found. Jesse and Ara have done remarkably well, but a showstopper in. Jamalino with a chance to drop at least 1. On the rope from Ara! It's a risky play, but in the 1v1, Jesse will have time on his side. This rotate gets him an early plant. The problem is he has no idea at this stage where his opponent's gone to, but it doesn't matter! He emerges from the shadows to find GX their 5th.
Oh, that's going to be a rough one for Azuri. Like, he had the right read on the rotation, got the position right of where he needed to be, and then his opponent seemed dead to rights, but he's just unable to connect the shot. And more importantly, Jesse lands the shot very quickly indeed. Definitely a bit of a weird
crazy
fight to
risk
see at the end, but
Let's go!
Jesse is someone that's been under quite a lot of scrutiny. I think you could even see it from the players on the other side trying to sort of hype him up because he's had a rough few weeks playing in Stage 2. But that clutch is worth its weight in gold.
I love that from Ara, telling him to stand up, and the confidence converting into advantages, into kills for GX. A 5 versus 3 off rip, 4-man stack from the defense towards A. They thought they could outnumber them, and that would make the difference, but It's changed nothing. If anything, it's given GX an early advantage that they normally don't have. 1:05 on the clock. 5v3 against most, well, all pistols. And a classic on Monster. And for this round to even become costly for the attack, it looks unlikely. And it kind of needs to be a costly round. Look where the credits are at. They haven't gotten out of control, but 5, even 4 players survived this one.
Where are you?
And you've got to break a few buys.
This attack side from GX is building into an incredibly strong one. And as I said, if you look at recent results, majority of defensive side wins for Eintracht
30
Frankfurt.
seconds left. Okay.
That's looking incredibly unlikely at this stage. Unless they can somehow make this round work, but with the amount of utility that's holding them back, the weaponry that's on display, there would have to be some sort of cataclysmic mistake from GX to let this one slip.
Oh, this would be a round that you remember for a long time to come. Jesse.
Not for a good reason.
I hope that Flickless has told him that he's been playing from that spot in most of the rounds, that they take it anywhere but A. Musashi should expect someone to be around here. Dealing with him will be difficult, as you can see, but the spidey senses were tingling. Only Monster left, classic in hand. An ult if he wants to use it, but I think we'd have a timeout after that, or he'd be put into timeout. Instead, going down to the spike might be the best option available. Instead, he'll go down to net. The man who I think already had his ult online, so no big deal. In zone flawless, though, for GX is the bigger of problems. Sure, they lose one weapon to the spike.
It was flawless when the round ended, but not when the round ended.
Yeah, not when the next round started. But for Net, you know, he needed that extra orb on his ult he already had, so I'm glad he got it.
6-1. It has not been the debut on the VCT EMEA stage that Eintracht Frankfurt were hoping for, but there's still plenty of time to go. Jamelinho, for the first time, will now have the operator in play. He's the lone defender of the C site. And this B site about to be under pressure. A good opportunity with the Nightfall, and straight through goes Ara. He's left completely blind, but there's not anybody to challenge against him at this stage. And with Westside lurking around that backline, he was hoping to take space off the back of the ult. Instead, he's now under serious pressure.
Ooh! Might have been a bit of a misclick there from Westside. Jesse's going to pick up one of the pieces, but still too many spilled on the floor. Eintracht Frankfurt, man advantage to play with. Viper's Pit on the retake, covers the spike as well. This has become a headache now that GX have to deal with, and all of their utility is gone, barring one Prowler. Jesse needs to keep this angle if GX are to have any chance of defending the site. And he stands tall with 3 in, looking for more. And the spam from Net is enough. The pit now dropped to leave one in the open. Jamelinho will not make it out alive. The spam from Flickless, but 7-1 on the board. GX looking confident and clean early on Lotus.
God, where was this Jesse in stage 2? Like, where was this guy? Like, it's like he's gone, oh, I'm back against tier 2 teams. I fry these guys on a weekly basis. Like, that was just filth.
Let's go!
He's getting double peaked.
You have Vizult! You have Vizult, by the way!
I don't think that was the problem. I'll be honest with you. I feel like them not killing Jesse was a far bigger problem. And I don't know what they've done, what his routine was today, but I suggest keeping it up for the rest of this run towards Barcelona and, of course, champions as well.
Doesn't look like anybody needs to tell Net to stand up anymore. Right, you'll love to see 7-1 GX with an opening right off rip. With what we're up against here, Ara's basically got a double barrel operator. Only Fizzy's got the full shields. And the stack up again towards Mound. It's where they've had some success with those early fights, but the defense is seeing that nobody's home over there. The GX, although the one thing I will say is that it's been very rare to see them take this space and actually commit to the A site. And if they do it in the one round where Eintracht Frankfurt have nobody A, even when they expected a push, they'd have 2 con, but 1 towards the A site. It would be frustrating. The timing here delayed a little bit. And so when GX actually do go, if it is, as it seems, towards the A site, they'll be walking into 2. The rotates are perfect for Eintracht Frankfurt. They bet on the site that GX rarely go to, and here's their reward. Low odds, but big returns if Westside wasn't standing guard, wrapping around and dishing out death at a rate that's frankly heartbreaking for Eintracht Frankfurt fans. That has got to suck. That opening by Jamalinho gave me hope, and look how quickly GX took that hope away.
Yeah, it's been shattered. I think they've come up against a squad where we talk about sometimes it just being the West Side show. Maybe every once in a while you get Ara as well. There definitely hasn't been a day I can remember where we had West Side, Ara, and Jesse all playing to a high standard, but that's what they're up against right.
And Flickless too, man. I mean, he's just been so clean today. When he's hitting shots like that, what can you tell us? And it's going to be in the replay. That's what you have to realize. It's going to be in the replay.
The funny thing is, that was so many shots missed. We don't even need to slow that down. You can run that at normal speed, and it's long enough.
Slow that down.
If we slow it down, we're going to miss half of the next round. Yeah.
That was a
as I was saying,
perfect moment.
Three players are looking like they're in really good form right now.
It's okay, Flick. It's okay.
Yeah,
Ara saw it.
it's okay because you're winning 8-1. If you weren't winning 8-1, it would not be okay.
Well, Flickless might be inheriting the bad game that his teammates sometimes have, but hey, he had that crazy flick with the ghost in the pistol round. You remember that?
Yeah, you got really excited about that.
I did. It was a nice little flick. Oh, it was the anti-eco. It was the anti-eco, not even the pistol. So less important. But
less important.
But it was
he
cool.
had shields. They didn't. He also then died.
But it was a very cool flick.
Sure.
Short-lived success. That's been the story for Eintracht Frankfurt in this game, though. And now, perhaps success is around the corner. 3 players spotted towards the C site, though. An immediate wraparound from GX as they look now to pressure the B site. But of course, that space being filled in. They've left A open this time around, fighting the rest of the map, and it's worked wonders for the defensive stance of SGE.
Musashi's been one of the bright sparks. They can't afford to let too many players slip. As you mentioned about the economy earlier, it's already built up now for GX. They have plenty of credits available to them, and the other side wanting to make sure they at least get to play those last few rounds with plenty of credits available to them. And honestly, Jesse's 12-3, already has his ultimate online. I think you just leave him to it, yeah? Or you fine with the op.
Well, that's one weapon down that it seems like Jesse's going to defend. And it looks like no one else is going to contest. Okay, operator gone. It's going to be a struggle to afford one in the next. Surely they go back and refight for that. And now they can. Okay, it will be seized back. Disaster avoided.
I guess it got Jamalinho's ult. That's the silver lining with it.
All part of the plan.
I don't know if they'll do a number for his confidence, because it does just feel like Jesse is at a completely different level to where we've seen him. But an important round, nonetheless. Of course, last time we did see GX play this map was versus Pacific in the EWC qualifier. They take from that what you will. They won 13-7, but this versus Pacific, and it was in the EWC qualifier, so it was a while ago. But they are looking very strong. The Ara Showstopper has been used for space in the majority of rounds and has been used for space in this round. The fact is, though, the defense want to try and go for something of their own, and they're gonna, well, no, actually, it gets nothing. Azuri's ahead of the curve, but it doesn't matter. Him and Monster combine. Jesse and Westside, 2 names that will strike fear normally, but Monster is having a round.
That's what we needed to see. Finding their footing, finding their rhythm in this game has been such a struggle for Eintracht Frankfurt. And it looks like they haven't left it too late to show back up. Still that 8-4 scoreline possible. This is their map as well. We shouldn't expect them to be too quiet when it comes to the attack, but the way this started, it made me doubt if we'd actually see this confident face to the defensive side or to this team in general. Jamalino certainly starting to feel it, diving himself in, op in hand, showstopper to work with. And yeah, he didn't get anything himself, but it was about how quickly, as you said, the showstopper had a kill, but Azuri was ahead of it. Monster came in with a big, was it 3K from him in this round? Containing that flank up as well. Very nicely done.
Well, Monster is definitely... I think there's a
10
lot of
seconds
conversations about players when it's on this team. I think Fizzy has been someone that's been talked about as a potential tier 1 player for a very, very long time.
Musashi definitely was.
I think, yeah, so was Musashi, even like being there at a point. I think like Jamalino being so young. I think every single player has that sort of talking point. Monster is the one for me where it's like, I'm almost annoyed he's not already there. Like, I think for many years, this guy has been on the cusp. We saw him make it to the lower final of Ascension one year with Ascend, being one of the standouts on that roster for a long time. And we've seen him, even in recent memory, do exactly what we've had Westside doing, where it's like, hey, he's on Sentinel, and now he's dropping 30 on Phoenix. Like, he just has depth and a lot of individual skill. He had a very quiet start to this game, but he's now at the top of the board. And I think that's the important thing. Like, we can forgive a team coming into this sort of tournament where you've had to run the gauntlet through 36 teams, through another 16 teams, make it to one of the 4 places that gets an opportunity to fight. Yeah, maybe that first half's going to be a bit rough, but I was worried that it's going to be the first match.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't get a lot of time on this stage. Nowhere near enough time to squander. 4 rounds at the half. That's what they're fighting for right now. Push-up from Monster's gotten them a lot of information. All of C clear. Jamalino's already put through the boombot. Any clearance he does now has to be with his eyes, ears, and his scope in his hand, but the pressure's on now, surrounded on both sides. The first shots whiz past, and nothing on his side lands. Op down, Musashi gone, the ult, the nightfall, not there. And as the sun soon to set on this half, all hope rests with Fizzy and Monster. 8-4, that's what they're looking for. But it might be so far out of reach. At this point, still having to fight through that pit, still having to deal with Flickless and with Ara up close, coming out of the pit to inject you with some venom. Monster's got to do it all, and well, he'll get the first, but time's against him. Surely it's already too far gone, and Net will put him in the ground. 9-3 at the half. A stellar performance by GX.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of life in Frankfurt towards the end, but it definitely felt like an uphill battle. An 8-1 start that came out for GX, and a different look to them altogether. And a man who has had a standout performance so far has been Jesse. So let's go listen in to an interview we had with him earlier on.
Just grab your phone and scan that QR code to get yourself some tickets before they're gone. Our Stage 2 finals weekend in Barcelona is going to be unlike any other. I've seen the Spanish crowd in person, and if you want to, get in before they're gone. For now, it's time for Eintracht Frankfurt to get into this map before it's gone. 3 rounds in the first half of their map pick is not what they wanted, Tom. But here on the attack, it did look like towards the end of the last half, they built up a little bit of momentum. They found their footing, but they've got to be good out of the gates here.
Yeah, I think they need a pistol. I'm not really feeling the 11-3 comeback. But I'll have to wait and see. Obviously, one of the problems for GX has been map pool. I was sort of talking to you before. I don't know what map, if they were going to pick one, they would go for, because there hasn't really been a standout strength, but Ascent is clearly where they feel they can be dominant, and I'll be honest, a lot of what they've done on this map has kind of just been out shooting. They've had some good mid-round calls, some good rotations, but it's been the individuals that have helped drag them through. Reed here's not a bad one, and Westside already with an execution and his friend to back him up will give them a further advantage. A walkthrough on the other side, and Net gets away with 2. There wasn't even a gap to be left. Jamalino was hoping to be the backstab. Instead, he walks straight into the hands of the opponent. And why I think that might be the nail in the coffin for Lotus.
It has to be. 5 players towards A from GX at the start. They looked to fight A main. They saw nothing there. And Eintracht Frankfurt got completely confused by what they were seeing. No contact B. No contact C.
Hey! Nice shots! Nice
They weren't
shots!
even making enough noise on A for you to think the play's coming in there. So they start to think, okay, we can pressure towards B. No, there's 2 people standing there. All right. Well, then we can probably walk through C, right? Wrong. They're waiting there as well. Because GX had that early A presence and said, okay, we got to go back and just contain that space we've given up. And Eintracht walked right into it. 10-3. The classics. All right. Good start on the low bite. Snakebite kill. Gets 1. Damage done and delayed. The rest of the reinforcements. Flickless is holding his ground for now. And backup is already here.
Yeah, it seems
That's
like
the spike on its own.
Yeah, I was going to say, the early danger, well, there's only one danger now, and that is that they lose the spike. It seems like this is just a miscall from either side. Like, yeah, it's so disjointed.
They've gotten lost in the sauce now.
There must have been somebody calling to go back and somebody calling to go forward.
Yeah, genuinely.
I'm especially Azuri. He was not helping his teammate on the site,
But not leaving.
and the Monster had already left.
In and out.
And then Musashi is as far into the site as humanly possible.
While Monster's just sat in C main. Like, obviously Monster wants to play the flank. The other 2, one wants to delay, one can't
30
delay. He's
seconds
just
left.
stuck there. You're stood inside of smoke. When he dies, you swing. They're all looking at you. I don't know what was happening there. And I don't think they did either. That's a concerning sign. Then again, with how things have gone so far, a hiccup in an eco round isn't the end of the world. But you don't want to see the micro break
Might
down
be the
like
end
that.
of the map.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, they could have come into this and lost it with all 5 players dying, with no kills, with no damage.
Yeah.
And we could have said, yeah, whatever, it was an eco. But the way that played out in the end, that's alarm bells.
Yeah.
This is all fine. This is not.
It became very, very peculiar towards the end, and obviously a lot of the time, at least in the past in Valorant, we would just have to guess how those comms are going.
What did happen?
But now we have the magic of being able to listen to those comms. So realistically,
Do you think we could?
I think there's a good opportunity to do that. So I'm going to stop talking in 2 seconds, and it's going to begin.
You sure?
A lot A lobby, guys. A lot outside A. Prowler, they want to push A lobby, I think, guys.
Kill them, guys. I'm gonna hold them, guys.
A lobby.
I will make pressure. I will make pressure. Yeah. Give me 1 smoke for Z.
I heard one close to A.
Yeah, I'm befriad.
No.
They open hobbits. They left one on A close. Maybe with a judge.
Let's go.
Bring them down.
They're towering, no? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Come, let's retake A together.
They go retake A together first.
Maybe towering on A.
We're gonna end on a beat probably.
Can we do full retake?
Careful on the route.
boom at B.
I need some
Let's peek together close.
Okay.
Careful on the route, guys.
Come, you ready, guys?
1, 2. I stepped.
Let's
Nice.
go. Maybe. Watch your judge.
I will reveal behind it.
They were hobbit, guys.
Satchel out.
Hobbit,
And I'm
hobbit.
gonna go in front of B. Can try to go A, but better than a beat,
I
yeah.
will open
Yeah,
the
I'm with you.
Open door, probably go beat, guys, okay? Yeah. They're rotating from B. We can go beat now, guys.
Hobbit.
I can blind it for you.
Blind, go blind.
Blinding now.
Nice, Riyad. Come on.
30 seconds left.
Let me go first.
One open door.
Come behind you.
Nice, Fizzy. I hold heaven right now.
One down, one down.
VCT.
I'm coming with Riyad.
Blinded.
I'm with you, fella.
I'm holding left.
There. Last player standing.
Awfully quiet on the GX side there, Tom. What do you take out of that?
Westside didn't have any info to give himself in that 1v5. Guys, you're all dead. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But no, a much more calm and collected round coming out from Eintracht Frankfurt. I like it. They clearly guess. I did notice they were very sure that somewhere there was going to be a judge. Like someone on that team has clearly been bitten before. Just guys, there could be a judge here. Maybe there could be a judge, or there could be a judge. No one had a judge. I just want to point that not a single player had a judge. I don't think they saw a judge in the round before. No. So I don't know what it. Like someone really has been burned. So, guys, watch out for a judge. But no, very well called. Clearly checked every angle. A little bit of confidence, I think, as well for Jamalino, which, again, you're a 16-year-old entering a stage that, for the most part, the rule was always you're not even allowed to play if you're 16 or 17 years old. So I think that him having a good round like that is important, but we need so much more.
Indeed. Much to be desired. at 11-4 down. Full buy comes out from GX. Operator in play. Ara takes it towards the B site. Jesse with a much more passive stance to control that A main info. Not even jumping up close. Taking no risks. I think instead, well, he is taking a risk. I think he's up on top of a column. But other than that, GX are hoping that presence comes towards the C site where they've wrapped in. And if it doesn't, Jesse will get the info or Ara will presumably find a pick. And with pings there, I'm assuming they're saying danger of the B walk-up. But if they do walk up themselves, which it appears they will, that Prowler better round the corner. Otherwise, Ara is going to take one of them out, and there it is.
Look to fill in the space. Still wary of the box. Westside, though, has caught out the lurker monster outside C. That means they need to pick up the pace at least a little bit. Now they've lost the lurk on the other side. The B presence is all they have. And honestly, Jamelino does quite well. He dives in, but there is no follow-up. The remaining two players have shied away towards C, where there is going to be some space.
30 seconds left.
That space is almost given rather than earned. There's going to be 4 players looking to try and play this as a retake on the GX side, and it's going to be tough to hold.
Yeah, well, they need to fight something, and they've made that realization, at least posturing towards that top of the map.
At least Fizzy has.
Yeah, the thing is, without going forward, you wait, look at the plant position. It's not for you. Cutting them off from this main, it's the worst place the GX could come from. They have a lot of cover to work with, and now they've isolated you. Both players having to stand their own. Paranoia to start. Fizzy does well, but Musashi's under heavy threat, and the jump peek gets him. Fizzy, the spam could take down 2 with ease, but he'll be caught trying to get out of that smoke. Double digits, extended up to 12 now for GX, while Eintracht Frankfurt are stuck on 4. Look, it's not looking like winning this map is on the table anymore, but we do need to see them deal a couple more blows before the final curtain call.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I don't think he will have known how much damage had been done to those remaining players.
But if he did, he would have spammed.
Yeah, the spam there, there was, what, 4 seconds left on the clock at the end? It genuinely could have made the difference if he even survives just a little bit longer, but unfortunately, tries to make the play through the
Makes me wonder why we didn't see it earlier on. But this is a team that struggled with identity,
it might have been a
with
third
role.
map here and there in some of the series. I just think they were getting 2-0'd, so we never saw it.
They were. But indeed, this looks like a strength, if anything, for GX, especially on that attack side. 8-round gap. A lot of ground to make up for this attacking side, and it looks like the pressure towards A that's come out of GX has only delayed Eintracht Frankfurt. They still seemingly want to take this. The snake bite's up and over, on its way. Jesse under pressure, and he won't be able to break the reveal. Out in the open, he'll just about escape. Good taking of space by Eintracht Frankfurt, but there is a trap being set by GX. Caught Monster flanking, and now 2 can fight out of Hobbit. They only barely traded out, and the advantage sits with the attackers. And they'll quickly fill in all this empty space thanks to the showstopper.
Jamelino's done well. 2 kills for him in this round, and for Ara and Westside.
Westside's got the op.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a little bit backwards in my mind, but a man known for his headshots now has an op. And not really a spot where he can trade it out either, so he is going to have to go for the retake with this gun. Might be a nasty surprise for one of them. It will be for Musashi. Evening things up, and you can see the time that's being taken by Ara to try and clear those backlines. Make sure there's nobody sat in the flank west side. He's not going to take much damage at all. Manages to dodge the majority of the nade, but he will lose his life on the other side of it. It's now down to Ara. The problem is the time. Jamelino lightning fast on that reswing. The youngster with a triple. Another round, I think you can say, was won by him, but again, unless they're winning 8, now 7 rounds in a row, it's all a consolation prize.
I think it's a really nice touch to send Monster so late through B. It meant that Flickless had to go back to take that fight. Jesse had to go back as well to trade him. And that allowed the time for these players to move up in A main. Otherwise, there would have been 4 players from GX plus utility ready to fire out from behind that Viper wall, and it would have been a really uncomfortable fight. Big round from Jamelino. Big role played by Monster, even though he only finds the 1 kill. A big challenge to piece together 7 more rounds like that or better.
Yeah, it feels impossible. The most we've seen so far is 2 rounds in a row towards the end of the half, and a lot of what we've seen from Eintracht Frankfurt has not been the most repeatable of rounds. A lot more based on those individuals, but that's what we need to see. Some of the players waking up and showing some of that level we know is there for them. Flickless, it's a freebie and it's 2! And then there's no follow-up again. This seems to be a major problem. 2 players sent into the Wolves and nobody looking to try and back them up. 2 players have been able to find a trade. Monster's tag is only for the moment. Ara, I think he's got the read wrong here. Would have to open that door very quickly. Instead, though, West Side in position, but doesn't quite land the shots initially. He's going to fall back off of this. I wouldn't even mind seeing Musashi's ult go in here.
Or Monster.
Yeah.
That's great work by Net. Closer than was expected, even with the reveal going through. The Nightfall finds nothing. 14 seconds left, and it's all falling apart. Eintracht Frankfurt bodied on their map pick, 13-5, and it does.
Listening, so he hears it go, boop, 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 and he's like, right, I'm taking over.
My time to shine, baby. That's why Flickless had that whiff last map. He was focused on calling for people where they should play. That's what you don't see.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, it was very quiet as Mike was the noise gate on broadcast wasn't there. For the defense, look, a good start or just a good moment would be great. That last map is certainly one to forget for them. GX came in and played the best game we've seen from them in 2 months, which is very unfortunate if you're the young team looking to make a name for themselves. Eaten alive for Eintracht Frankfurt. Now in this defense, about to be tested towards the B site. They have got a lot of players here at least, and the shock darts did damage early.
Nice start early. Really nice start! Jamalino! Okay, this is already better than everything we saw in the last map. Maybe it's a adjustment. Fizzy! What are you doing, Fizzy? It's an in-zone flawless. That could have been a 16-year-old getting an ace on the stage, but Fizzy ruined it.
Well, Fizzy, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to let that one slide. You're spamming the smoke when my boy's 1 shot away from a memory he'll die happy. Having in his mind, nah, it's not. Don't you dare look at him celebrate. You know what you did. Well, it did seem like Jamalino might not be too upset at that. Caught a glimpse of his camera during the moment, but let me tell you, we'll be frustrated for you. 1-0, an almost ace in the pistol, and if you're looking to put wind in your sails, that's one way to do it.
We're like the overprotective parents at the side of like a middle school football game.
My guy's on a 4K, and you're spamming a smoke.
Ref, that's slide tackle, that's not okay.
You're a bad guy. It's just plain and simple. I don't want you in my ranked games. But a win's a win, I suppose. That's how these guys will look at it. They're emotionally mature or whatever. And a farming round.
Okay.
In zone flawless again.
Back to back.
For the defense. That's, look, we said we want to see a good start. This is a great start.
Yeah, 0 kills so far for GX. The majority of kills on 2 players. I think a huge confidence booster as well. Like they would have had moments in that last game where you're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start sitting there going like, maybe there is a gulf. Maybe there is a gap that we just don't see. And you can see that Never standing up a lot in the last game. So, you know, he's getting a taste of his own medicine. I'm excited to see Monster now over on the Phoenix. As I said, a lot of individual brilliance from him. But I think whenever you see a young player go onto the Jet, it's just a confidence age. Okay. Well, there's nothing Flickless could have done about that.
Yeah, that's one way to kick off your low buy round. The bonus for Eintracht Frankfurt gives them an advantage right off rip. Are they trying to continue the aggression? Finding info, of course, is essential for this squad, but now they've seen someone outside A. There'll be no further pushing there. Instead, they test the extremities. Or instead of testing the extremities, I suppose, they look to the center. The drone coming out on mid now to clear all this space. And they will hide from it down there. GX giving a bit of false info. And Ara's so quick on this. He's filling in short right away. He'll be here looking for a battle against Musashi any moment now. And if it goes well, they can go back in the other direction. That player being spotted should draw the eye of Musashi. And he doesn't know there's a player up close. But Ara's being spotted now. And on the fallback, Jamalino's caught the cross. He's continuing to face down mid. He might have gone a bit too far with this one. Never mind. Jamalino's on fire. It might not be the pistol round, but it's his pistol that's carrying Eintracht Frankfurt to a big lead early on.
Yeah, that's the Blade Storm. Not that that really matters at this point. The 3-0 lead is all but guaranteed, and
10 seconds left.
they're trying to clear out this remaining weapon on Jesse. They are hunting him down. He's trying to create isolated fights for himself, and he will not be able to. Only one casualty in 3 rounds for the side of Eintracht Frankfurt, and that one casualty is a man who's 7-1.
See ya.
Jamalino, the fact that he continues going. Like, his dash is gone. There's no way out at that point. They have an advantage. He could even tuck in the corner. He could tuck in and wait, but that's not his style. 7 and 1 start.
We're only showing replays of Net now.
Well, he has
set
was
this
the
up.
one standing up.
Every round, we're just going to get him going. Like, oh, fine.
I love that Ara's basically used him like a puppet. He's like, stand up, yeah. And now that there's no chance to stand up, no eyes on Ara. Oh no. Jamalino!
Bro went back.
Jesus!
He was 5 health. He was 5. Okay, so somewhere in that, like, in between the maps, they went up to his back and turned on a little switch that was just the kill everyone switch. You're 5 health, my friend. You're 5 health, and he's still just swinging everything. Do you know what? The calling on the Frankfurt side has become a little bit easier. It's just, yeah, Jamalino, do whatever you like.
One enemy remaining.
There you go, Monster's guy's second kill. That's normally pretty good in 3 rounds or 4 rounds, but it's being overshadowed at least a little bit.
Well, I think I'm going to have to request we just watch Jamalino now. An in-zone flawless.
That's 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4
They've
rounds
had 1 kills with 1
no
kill.
loss.
They've had 1 kill.
And the round that they did lose a player, it was just one guy who walked down mid with a sheriff. They've only lost a sheriff so far in the first 4 rounds. Think about how Lotus started. We were like, oh my god, can these guys even compete against GX? Or GX just going to run away with this? And they kind of did. Well, now it's GX's map pick.
There you go.
That's great.
That's like almost a kill. So, yeah.
Well, anyone who thought this was going to be a quick day, or at least a quick game 1, strap in. We might be going all the way to Summit. It will be the first time for both of these teams. Early days here. And GX with the timeout, look to respond. Musashi using the very weapon Jamalino said he would remove from Valorant if given one choice, one change. The Odin would be gone. Well, their advantage in this round would be gone with it. Flickless is a big scalp to claim as well. He won't have a chance to work towards a run it back, which...
Oh no, he is working towards it. The 5 deaths add up to the 5 orbs he has.
Let me clarify.
Oh,
he won't have a chance to work towards it, towards using it in this round, which is a big deal because he was only 2 away.
With the old orbs, he would have had it.
He would have.
From that death.
From the death, yeah, he'd have it for next round. Monster shutting down West Side, but it makes things a little bit more complicated for GX to try to solve this equation.
It's actually hilarious that Monster only has 3 orbs.
I mean,
they are 4-0 up.
He has had limited opportunities to engage targets. You know,
what's your job as a Phoenix? You know, run in, get kills, maybe even die sometimes just to get orbs, grab the orbs. Hasn't been able to do that, but he does have 8,000 credits. Now, they have gambled in the wrong direction. Left. This orb being taken might make it interesting, but genuinely, this looks like GX are already saving. Mainly because Net is currently in the spawn with the spike, so yeah, they're just not going for this one.
I do think 3v5 bursting into a B site, no info, and knowing that there's likely a Cypher setup there as well.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I think they've probably made the right choice here. But they still won't get out with all their weapons. Jamalino has popped a Blade Storm, and let's just say he's looking to fire a few of those off before the barriers go back up. 5-0 start for a team that found 5 rounds.
They stopped 1 kill
in the previous map, and yeah, Jamalino's death, as brazen as he's been with some of these aggressive pushes, it's the only death on the board.
Captain Cow, what's the least amount of kills you've ever had in 5 rounds? And is it
on the
this?
team.
Because it has to be this.
It actually might be.
It has to be. There's no way that in 5 rounds people didn't get more than 1 kill.
And even like old mates, Mini would have like gotten 4 kills.
Well,
or
someone
you know
would have
what I mean?
just like trolled a little bit and lost some players. Like, I'm genuinely baffed. Did we like swap the sides and not the names?
Listen, I like Ara. He's played pretty good. I ain't seen him play the way Jamalino's
Yeah, also, I
played
don't know why
these rounds.
Jamalino would be standing up screaming.
Yeah, that would be very...
The cams kind of gives
would
the
be
game
strange,
away a
wouldn't it?
little bit, but hey, 5-0. They've already matched the same amount of rounds as they did in the last map, which was not their map choice. Seems like we're going to have an interesting day, but of course for GX, it's the most horrific start ever to a map. Oh, and then they've been caught by everything, but they get an opening kill, the second kill. And now we're going to see Flickless going with the ult, which, it does actually survive for at least a split second, but doesn't really garner too much. A revealed Musashi under some pressure, but the spams will deny them that additional space. Westside trying to find a gap, but that gap is looking to be closed in. It's not closed in. Musashi, though, finds one with the spam. And now they're getting more aggressive. They're looking to try and take over. Jamalino's there at the end, and okay. They managed to get some extra kills, but it's still going to be the round going the way of Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, this was the chance for GX to come into this map and just put Eintracht Frankfurt to bed. Quiet those rumors that the Tier 1 teams are complacent, that if they were really tested by outside forces, those rosters would look very, very different. The cushiony Tier 1 life, well, it has changed here, and Eintracht Frankfurt are the first to be shaking it up. It didn't look like it on map number 1, like we'd have any challenge, but like we said, a rough map 1.
It's
You can
looking
see
like
it
that in map
happening.
number 2. Just the other way around.
It is weird, though, it being Lotus, it being the map that we didn't see GX actually get reps on, that they come through and look so dominant, to then immediately go quiet on their battleground. You don't expect it to last much longer, but for Eintracht Frankfurt, every round here is a big bonus. This can still slip away, and I love how slow they're being now. This isn't a team that's getting carried away by confidence. And then Musashi walks down mid with an Odin.
Yeah, could you just repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
What is this?
This one not quite so passive.
Oh, Westside's got me just like, what's going on? Bro, why are you all the way down mid with an Odin? Well, this is what I was talking about. At least this is why you normally see more kills, because sometimes teams might get a little bit cocky. Even still, though, 45 seconds left. They're just taking B main control. The Blaze is somewhat selling a ruse, but the rotation is not going. You've still got a multitude of players. A lot of that is because they don't want to fall trap to these rotations. 30 seconds left, and the smoke has gone down. Paranoia even ready to go. Hot hands. They've got so much to delay. The utility's just not being baited out by this attack side. They will have the numbers when they do eventually go to move, though.
Another flash, doesn't catch, and Ara's up close. Taking down a second. They can even get the spike planted 10 seconds, and it has to cross back to site. A few shots here could change the game, but Jamalino will be blocked out by the door. Flickless steps forward. He wants to fight. The flash blinds him. The op shot doesn't land, but all the while Fizzy is wrapping around, taking advantage of the chaos, or so he thought. Flickless with one well-placed shot might have locked in another round finally for GX. Another death for Jamalino. The last man standing swaps to the Guardian. Bullets still ready and raring to go, but Ara brings a knife to a gunfight and finds the first round for GX.
That was so desperately close. 6 HP. Jamalino with his second death onto the board, and finally GX have found their way into the map at least. As said, for them, when it comes to winning on this map choice, it is normally the attack where they desperately struggle, so getting those rounds across the board is going to be important, of course, for the defense. This is not making a dent. It turns out if you only have one player die in 5 rounds, you have quite a lot of credits.
This has been a chaotic start for GX. Felt this map slip away round by round. Finally one on the board. Finally a stop to the streak of rounds, but they still need to stop that momentum. Jesse pushed back, but GX's response is to immediately pick up the pace on short. The drone's clearing everything, and Eintracht Frankfurt going all in on A main. Now have to fall back quickly. They could lose control of their spawn here. GX could be anywhere at this moment, and so even falling back, even rotating, it isn't really an option. I like what GX have done to chop up this map, but they are a little bit fragmented when it comes to taking the challenges.
The position that Westside has is clearly being considered. Like, the defenders have just put a smoke down deep behind A side. They expect that they're going to be pincered in. He spans! Okay, see you later, Ara. Flickless will now respond. And now they go back towards this side of the map. There's still a couple of players here.
30 seconds left.
Removed from position. Azuri underneath is the one that's in real danger. He needs to try and hold his ground, and he does so. Also has the support. Azuri just hasn't been taken out. He's been doing incredible work. And now with 15 seconds left, Jesse, one of the heroes of the previous, he doesn't even know he's being surrounded on the door being broken. Will give the game away, but look at the time, 8 seconds. He's got to try and get this plant down. He's got to try and do it now. But Musashi just jumps, but it's not quite enough. The shorty doesn't land anywhere near as much as they were hoping for, and a Red Bull clutch will give their second.
A crazy round from Jesse there. Throws out the paranoia. Obviously, he heard the jump coming, but it looked like he was sticking it all the way through. But he got his gun out just in time to make this work. But it was the isolation of the first fight that I think was really impressive. Dodging the drone, re-tapping the spike, and instantly closing that distance. He completely caught Fizzy off guard.
Jesse looked genuinely scared of that high five. No, I need my hands. I need them to play.
Well, 2-6. The path to recovery, it's perilous for GX. We've seen more than a few hazards pop up, but they're certainly making the best of it early on. In this second quarter, as it were. Big pressure put on her. They're already deep into the site. Ara's taking full control, and well, it looks like with the Hunter's Fury coming in a little later, that's made it a real headache for those players pushing out onto short. Free pickup for Westside, but it's the rotation that might be caught. Monster, if he gets this kill, that's the ult online, and coming from A main, that could be very, very dangerous, and he's found it.
Yeah, the problem is Jamelino a little bit ahead of the curve.
Last player
Fizzy not winning his battle versus Ara, and it seems like, well, this ult now becomes maybe more of a problem than anything else. It was far enough back that it doesn't matter so much for Monster, but he's yet to really get himself into this game. It was Jamelino in the early rounds that was able to get them through. He's still trying to make this one costly. Their own economy is not in the best of states at this point, but he wants to try and tear all of those guns out of enemy hands. And well, he almost does it at great cost to their own economy. I don't know if that was worth it.
I think that was worth it for him to prove a point. That's what Monster was there for. That was an individual moment. Something, the spark that can light the fire, but yeah, in terms of the overall decision-making, we want to see it saved. For Eintracht Frankfurt, a pause is called here, and let's take a look at what that's going to do.
Because you came in and you were, that's it, you went 5 rounds with 1 death. Like, you were absolutely destroying GX. Then you had a couple of clutch rounds where only a singular player survived. If you let that then end 6-6, you're going to feel like we could have 12-0'd the first half.
Deploying drone.
I didn't notice Net was 1-8. My guy's been on his feet. Still bringing that energy regardless of the performance. A bit of a change from the previous map. Running it down, Flickless. Hunter's Fury's catching him, but it's only the ult removed that Trey perhaps will be happy to make with Ara's position. Finding them at least a foothold. A ground to fight from. No one's breaking the cam. That's a bit concerning. Huge information early and with an Odin. That's going to convert to kills. Mistakes being made. That spam, I think, got Flickless. He's down to 73. The paranoia. Well, he's been spotted now, and whether he could see or not didn't seem to make a difference. Trade's the best they could hope for. And with Monster coming up big, it's only Net. He's found himself one, but the spike is down in the open. The door still needs to be broken. 15 seconds to a reveal. He has at least got the time to play with.
Yeah, it still feels like it would have to be a pretty hefty mistake from the remaining 2 players, but after seeing the Benji Fishy clutch the other day, I'll believe that anything is possible on this side of the map. nonetheless, 24 seconds. At this stage, they could just hide, let him take the spike, and it would pretty much be all over. Instead, the walk-up's now being spotted. Molly just to try and slow him down, and in the end, it's all too easy for the defenders to close it out. At a minimum, they have got themselves the half, and this is where that damage that comes out from the last round does now play a bigger part. The economy of their opponents is in quite a lot of trouble.
There was that spam in the end from the Odin. Listen, Musashi's been doing a lot of work. I saw Jamalino's, we put out an Instagram post, which was his info, and he said he hates the Odin. If he could remove one thing from the game, that's what it would be. Well,
I like him already.
I don't think he should be saying that near Musashi. That guy's been having a lot of impact, as indeed have all of Eintracht Frankfurt. Let's see what GX are going to do to slow this down with the listen-in.
It's a drone short. Yeah, wait. I'm droning away.
Just playing. Sowas.
Okay. Could be in the
He's
smoke.
coming market. He's running mid.
They're gonna fight.
Run away, Jesse. He's gonna shoot you.
Be Omen side. Could be garden. You wanna fight garden or wait? Which?
Nothing B main.
Yo, listen. I think ending A is good, bro.
Cypher B.
Don't peek. Wait, guys.
Yes, I'm waiting. You can smoke him too, bro.
He's market holding me.
Market. Just market Cypher B.
And Phoenix Omen on A.
Can we just come? Listen. How many smokes do you have, Jesse?
They have no one-way cage on B. No one-way cage on B.
I think
one flash remains.
Listen. Just come. We're gonna pop through the smoke.
Pushing shot.
He keeps pushing.
I'm gonna get this shot up.
Jesse
That can be on B.
Get paranoia. I'm gonna reveal market. Get rid of paranoia.
Yeah. Ready?
Wait. Ready? Revealing. Can you smoke him 3?
No, I'm gonna smoke city inside.
Nothing market. Get outside market.
Planning?
Planning.
I'm gonna smoke city on the...
He's gonna be holding across.
I don't see close market. They catch me. Care picking you guys.
I did the same thing.
Why is picking both?
Route short. Let's go.
Or stairs. Care stairs.
Stairs out though.
Big bomb.
30 seconds left.
He's
Spike
picking
down
again.
mid.
Stairs.
Last player standing.
One stairs, one market. Last shot.
What is fun without though?
Yeah.
An in-zone flawless. Yeah, they weren't up
Last
against the best of
round in the
buys,
half.
but another 4K for Jamalino. I mean, this guy is just on fire at this point. Stopping any losses for the side might not have the biggest of impact with a round 1 going into the final round of the half, but his Blade Storm's going to be a feature of the next, that's for sure, and more importantly than ever, it's been a couple of quieter rounds considering how things started, finishing out this half with a bang, exactly where Eintracht Frankfurt want to be.
Yeah, I'll say as well, like, obviously Jamalino has definitely been the highlight so far, but I do think that I prefer what I'm seeing so far from Fizzy on this Senti. Like, his cam work has just been really annoying. Like, every single time someone enters the site, there's a new cam for them to find. And while West side, the Senti on the other side, 2 and 12. I don't think I've seen him boomed out of a game like this in a while. Arrow, though, at least takes some space, some awkwardness in the middle, but it's still gonna go the way of the boys from Frankfurt. A 9-3 defensive half, a completely different display.
Here in Berlin, it's all about Frankfurt today. That's a big turnaround from what was a quiet first map. Here on GX's map pick, Jamalino has been the difference maker. A guy sitting 19-6 after the first half. I mean, there is no catching him here, but luckily, we got to catch up with him earlier on. Take a listen to this.
Jamalino, welcome to VCT. How does it feel?
Fell off a little bit, but you know, he's only 16,
a lot, actually.
So we'll allow it. No, insane stuff, and well, as he said in the interview, he's looking to try and make his route to Barcelona, and it's going to be a little bit easier for you guys to do that. If you scan that QR code, maybe you have to scroll back a little bit in the YouTube, or, you know, it's going to come up all the way throughout the day, so don't worry, it will be there again.
Yeah, little Google search as well. Put in the work. You'll get the reward.
Bing it.
Yes, the very. I think you're right. Actually, you are. You should be feeling old. That's a disgraceful thing to even bring up. But
don't worry, I'll share it on my MySpace later for all of my closest friends.
Should have followed Tom on MySpace. Is that website still even on?
I don't know.
Pretty sure they turned it off a long time ago, before Jamalino was born. West side taking the first, and it will be the death of Jamalino that kicks off this half. For Eintracht Frankfurt, maybe they can still regain that momentum. Musashi and Monster, the ones to pick up the pieces. Monster's been impressive, but one is all he'll get. And so it's Musashi that has to do it all, standing against the odds, much like his namesake. But this duel, much more difficult with 3 opponents facing you down. 40 seconds on the clock and the spike in the open. He's made the choice to isolate the only fight that he possibly can. The only man who was alone. And although he sends sprinting,
30 seconds left.
that doesn't really help Musashi's position.
All right, gets Jesse out of the back line at least. Flickless waiting with the flash. He's almost lost to that. Dart out. Okay, Flickless is gone. 18 seconds left. That flank is now coming, so it's going to have to be the kills, if anything. Well, not quite going to be enough in the end. GX will find their lifeline. A 12th kill for Ara puts him further up the top of his team. But they're going to need quite a bit more. That is, however, the start that they were looking for. As we sort of said, like a lot of the time with this composition, either side, you could really feel the defensive side Jet build into the game, and it's going to be a much tougher time on that attack with Ara already being their catalyst on the attack side for rounds. There's a good chance for him to have a great half here.
Yeah, considering, you know, he's 12 and 10, but when they got 3 rounds in that first half, you can be pretty happy with his performance over on the attack. Now, his chance to shine, but Ara won't find much coming his way. Net is obviously taking a bit of inspiration. Liked what he saw from Musashi, who was very impressive.
Has he got a no shields Odin?
He did, well, it's round 2, Tom. If he had full shields, we'd be in trouble.
At least light, like this is...
Or light shields even. Yeah, but it's expensive. 3,200 for this big boy.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I know,
it's
but
worth
that's
the
why
risk.
he shouldn't buy it.
No, I disagree. Look, he's already done a lot of damage, and now they're scared to push towards the stairs for good reason. The bellowing of the Odin net will fall. No shield seems to have played somewhat of a role in that.
Really?
I'm not sure quite how unlucky we can all agree, but Musashi being left as the last alive and having not recovered the Odin and being 10 HP and having a bandit, it seems like his impact will be minimal. But that said, a kill from here would be great. An orb and a plant, even better.
Well, yeah, they're already losing something over on the defensive side. A plant seems very likely. Is he going to take the orb as well?
Left.
He is going to take the orb as well. So there you go. This is a nice little bit of orb farming. And hey, you know, there's a player or two that at the right angle, he'll be able to kill in one shot. So there you go. West side now has a 29 HP Odin.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You got to remember he has shields because the wall is his shield. And it's impossible to spam back. He couldn't possibly follow all those tracers. Musashi down below, well, he's got that 10-meter range at least, a headshot to anybody. He's almost gone down, and he will to that Odin from west side. The bricks being the only barrier he needed. Not so kind to his opponent. 5 on the board for GX. 3 rifles. Well, 2 rifles and a big boy carried through. That's a win.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I want to see what they come back in with into this round, because you've gone in with the Marshall, which sometimes allows you to buy something off the back of it afterwards. The SMG definitely won't. So there's going to be pieces missing. It's not going to be the 5 rifles that a lot of teams have sort of been seen bringing through. Net now going to have an Odin with some light shields as well, which I feel a little bit more confident in. But on the other side, it's full shields across the board, and, well, this round you kind of expect to go SGE's way.
Still those factors that can make a difference. But in terms of the ultimates for GX, yeah, nothing to bounce them into this. A run it back would help, but not enough orbs and no longer on 6, thanks to you-know-who. Net over on the Odin. That's going to be my highlight. He's on short. It's tough. They can very quickly close the distance, and Jamalino's looked incredibly confident with the drone leading the way, getting out of here even. Honestly, he's probably lucky to do so, but it's because he slowed Jamalino with those Odin shots, landing, putting him down to 68. And the run through heaven, even risky. Echolocation from that Odin could put him in trouble. But a shot from Jesse draws the eye of the rest. Paranoia to slow them down, but he's now stuck in main. Thing is, they can't cross to him. That Odin's still watching the gap, catching Busy as he tries. Jamalino does his best on low HP. Getting 1 is good, and the damage done to Flickless. It could help them out, but there's too few on the other side, and dealing with this Odin. It seems to be the biggest challenge of all for Eintracht Frankfurt. 9-6 looking likely and certain with a well-connected shot from Ara. And the thing for the defense here is, Tom, they came in with so many weaknesses that getting out now with 4 rifles, they've basically been gifted some economy.
Yeah, that's, I'll be honest, that's worryingly clean. It was the less heavily stacked up side of the map. It was an Odin and a player with a Guardian. They never were able to clear out that A-long position.
Look at me, bro. Come on.
And well, Net able to get, maybe some would even say, more than he should have done with that Odin.
I wouldn't say that at all. I'd say he probably got less than expected.
Oh, okay. So he's bad, but the gun is good, is what you're saying.
I didn't say that. Don't straw man me. I said what I said. Could have gotten more, but the situation robbed him of it, you know?
Oh, okay.
All is well.
It's not what it sounded like, but you know, people can make their own opinion. Here we go again. Spams. Not quite finding as much as hoped for, but getting a lot of opportunities. Can't shoot through that. A lot of pressure put onto Westside. He's going to go down to the pistols. Net does finally find his one. And the pistols have done a lot. Got them onto the site. Rifle also picked up by Musashi. Ara now on the Jodin. Jet Odin. But he's going to get rid of that for the sniper.
Nice kill trip. I mean, they need something here. The numbers sit with the defense. The weapons sit with the defense. Fizzy's the only man with a rifle. Musashi having to duel with the Sheriff. Running down into that trip would certainly help. This attacking side finds something, but that paranoia, it's caught them both. That timing is perfect. The kill trip's broken. No pressure as they walk in, free to clear every angle. A big risk by Ara into the smoke early, but he'll find the kill, and the round comes with it for GX. 7 on the board now. Remember, this was a 6-0 start, where Eintracht Frankfurt, I think at 6, certainly at 5, had only 1 death on the board. They had Jamelinho looking like he wasn't tier 1, he was a tier above that again. And yet, here we stand, 2 rounds in the difference. Momentum there for GX, and 4 rounds in a row to start this half.
Hey, stand up!
And, well, Net's not afraid to call them out.
Weirdly, more of that was muted than was played.
Oh.
I like it. I like it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you do you. Anyway.
Your way when you're winning 6-0 up, who needs a pick-me-up from that point? But it's when you start to losing. To lose. That's where the test really comes in. When you start to losing, you have to lock in. This is what Hipson will have told them over on GX for Eintracht Frankfurt. The big test. How do they lose? Let's see.
Yeah, full mid space.
Take it.
I have cam on the main.
They drop full mid, guys.
Yeah. Oh, you're full left.
Can you flash on my contact, Andre, if they push me?
Yeah.
They're not B lobby. They could be.
I need to TP, I need to TP.
Be push still, Omen.
When a big mid måste run it.
I'm 1 HP, guys.
Guys, Cypher on A, probably passive.
Let's retake some
we need to retake B
space.
space also and top mid. Put a bottom mid smoke and retake some stuff. Like, play with balls.
I will just flash, okay? Smoke.
Yeah, smoking.
I can ult. If you know where someone is, I'm ulting him. Can you be mid lane guy, right? Could be.
Under you!
Under, yeah.
I have ult. Can you just go B?
Yeah, let's go
Go B, Riyadh. We don't even have here, bro. Okay, I can't. I'm not gonna ult then. You should ult for sure. I mean, please, like,
Ult, yeah.
we can play around it. We can easily win this round. I've had A play. I think we can go to B. But
Let's go B.
I'm just walking through mid.
Yeah, taking timing.
Nice! I'm holding CT.
They have so far. I will tap
Phoenix
mid.
Frost, Phoenix Frost. Don't cage yet, don't.
I will hold my ult. I'm on for you guys.
I'm going
keeping
stairs.
market. I'm on a VCT and ult.
Wait, I'm gonna jump. Wait. 3, 2, 1. His market still freak. Good shot. On the place.
I will buy operator.
It's just like I said, it's how you losing that matter most. And for GX, well, now they've tasted defeat. An end to the streak here in this half. 4 in a row, put to bed, even with a start like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important part. You lost 4 rounds in a row, you get blindsided by that player down in mid. And it's straight to solutions. There was no blame, there was no tilt. They call for the B play, and they find every opportunity at their feet.
Yeah, good round from Physium individually as well, being able to hold off that cross, deny them, and even keep that Hunter's Fury into the next round. Of course, there's a counter on the other side, an Odin versus an Odin. But only Ara with that operator in hand. Now, Musashi was definitely a nuisance in that first half, much to my dismay. But a bigger nuisance when they tried to go to this A site before was Jesse. And again, he sits deep within their control.
Hunter's Fury, immediate response, that util thrown out. It'll find a tag, but no follow-up. Gemelino still draws breath. The Hunter's Fury will be quelled. And Hunter's Fury on the other side.
I was looking for Jesse.
Doesn't have any tags just yet. Jesse's safe in the smoke. The snake in the grass, trying to strike, and it's Gemelino to finally fall.
Yeah, Jesse out of there as well. He's played this almost to perfection. The Hunter's Fury baited out. The run it back also gone. 2 high impact ultimates, the 2 most impactful that they've had. And then they've killed off Gemelino at the same time. 30 seconds now. Eintracht Frankfurt to make their move. They've got to get past Ara. It's a mid shot, but there's a second player deeper, and that's a spike on the ground. That needs to be retrieved. TP just to join up, but they are running out of time, and they still have to get past West Side. That alone on a normal day is tough to do.
Well, they need a plan. They need a plan. No! And Ara and West Side are ready and waiting. Picks, as fancy as they look, they mean nothing with the time ticking away. And the final grains of sand have left the top of the hourglass. Double digits still for Eintracht Frankfurt, but GX are back within 2.
Yeah, it just felt a little bit too disjointed. Like, you have a couple of really high impact ultimates. One is used just to send through to try and run forward. Doesn't get anywhere near anybody. Then you have Gemelino waiting in a smoke, and you have Monster way more passive. Then you have a Hunter's Fury that's just used blindly. Like, that all together guarantees an opener, guarantees something. Instead, you use them all individually, hoping that they find something. It just looks really sloppy.
Yeah, it's one of those passed arounds. They throw it at the wall, see what sticks, but a bit more structure to that recipe.
All right.
Imagine Gemelino right away takes Flickless down. That was gorgeous. And the sight seems to be theirs. Brave enough to challenge his Ara. He's got his op out, and he is looking for a pick. The dash back not even used. It just faded. But he wasn't scared enough to go running yet. He might need even more. Monster finding a pick back. The Blade Storm's still there to worry about. Seems like Eintracht Frankfurt might be on for an 11th.
They're looking to try and fight forward into that gun. They want to try and give something over. Musashi with a low HP Odin instead. Jesse with a chance, but Gemelino patiently waiting. Westside's done well, though. Both players about to be revealed. One desperately low on HP who has to try and retreat back from this. And he's got an opportunity to get this to half. The reveal is going to force him off the angle. The fight is not won, and now it's all on West Side, and he's done it! A 1v4 that might just be the death of the opponents. A Red Bull clutch that, I'll be honest, I think the guys from Frankfurt are going to regret that one.
That is a big, big blow dealt to Eintracht Frankfurt. A round that must be theirs at this stage. 10-8, GX picking up momentum, and Westside comes in with the clutch of the day. That falls back to what we talked about for Eintracht Frankfurt. We don't question how hard these guys can hit. We've seen it in the Tier 2. We've seen it here on this map. Those first 6 rounds. But it's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can, or about how hard you can hit. About how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And for them, that's tough. That would have landed very well, actually.
It's not about,
very sad about
the
that.
hit you can get.
It's about
it's
how
about the
many
get
hits
that you
can hit you back.
When you get hit, when you hit.
Just keep
that
going.
You get.
And that's what's important. Keep going. Oh, that's a rough up draft. But for Eintracht
how many
Frankfurt,
times were you hit before you said that? Yeah, I'm a guy. Yeah, there we go.
That's exactly like I said. That's the takeaway. Tough spam on the West Side. He's down to 62, but they've got backup. Even when they take him, you'll expect one more player here. The TP from Jesse rooted out. Another found through the smoke of Ned, and all the danger already eradicated. Great recovery from this team. And now putting themselves into a 5 versus 2. That gap of 2 can be reclaimed. And that was my real worry. I might not have communicated it super clearly Or maybe I did. I think a lot of people understood what I was going for. But I think the thing is, for Eintracht Frankfurt, you lose a round like that, a clutch like that.
Yeah, when you're hit that hard.
You get hit that hard.
Sometimes it's hard to get.
It's hard to get, exactly. And hit they were. But they bounced right back into it.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. Is that what you're going for?
That's the one. That's exactly
going to
it.
keep me down. I won't sing too much more for copyright reasons.
Yeah, no, well, that's already. That was close to the 3-second window. I'm not sure.
I
producers are
just
gonna be
need
happy with
that
that one.
clip. I need no, or just the quote. Just quote Mitch Man. Just like faded to grey. Beautiful stuff. 11-9. I genuinely though, it is important they bounce back for that. You lose a 1v4, it's very easy to crumble, fall completely out of the game, get hit, not get back up. But they have proven with a relatively clean round into that B site, some solid shots connected from each player. And, well, more importantly, getting their second round onto the board this half. You look at them in the lead, and that wouldn't be the expectation, but a chance to take us to 3, a chance to see who's done the better prep on Summit with neither of the teams playing it yet. But it's few and far between so far for the German side, and there's always a chance the GX bounce right back.
Oh, that there is.
Do it.
But 11-9.
Shoot the ball.
The gap is narrow enough for GX to still have a chance, but it's close enough to victory for Eintracht Frankfurt to feel like it's within their grasp. Run it back. The tip of the spear for this round. Credits to fall back on. A loss isn't the end of the run. For GX, catching Fizzy would have been a big deal, keeping that main control, but as they lose out on Ara, it's a bit whiffy from net. Not an ideal weapon to take that fight. The Vandal, on the other hand, for Westside, has proven to be enough many a time, and he'll be shut down on the backside with Monster on the perfect angle. It's 12 for Eintracht Frankfurt, a team that looked like they were going to fade to black early, and now we may be going all the way to Summit.
Yeah, I like this. A couple more direct rounds from this attack side, keeping things a little bit more simplistic, but then also leaving extra layers behind, like Monster being that backstab this time. We've seen it multiple times in these rounds, and more importantly, clearing Westside. Westside had an absolute stinker of a first half, but has been on the comeback. Shutting him down is an important part of this one. Of course, that was a lower buy. That fight that we saw from Net wasn't with an Odin, it was with a SMG at range. Now he at least has a Guardian, still good for the spams, but he also doesn't have shields by the looks of it. And neither does Jesse.
Got Spike.
It's going to be tough now without those smokes. Jesse has been caught in the flash. Behind, stops reinforcements, but Jamalino keeps himself safe in the cloudburst. Beautiful play to put us back to a 4v4. And the mid play from Net could be costly. He's looking for space for the early flank on a push that hasn't even started. Okay. And now, Flickless does the same. They feed Fizzy one by one. Ara giving it away to Jamalino and Westside. Another 1v4 on the A site.
You have Hunter's Fury, there's one guy left. Go sit in the back line and do not give this guy an individual fight. He's already done it to you once. You cannot give him the chance to do it again. Monster is looking for him. They know where he is, but this is the backup. Yes. 3-man setup. Okay, 2-man setup. Okay, we're back to 3-man again. Jamalino wants to be at the front, and it doesn't matter in the end. He'll be the one to land the shot. It looked like it was their map to begin with the 6-0 start. GX fighting back, but it is Eintracht Frankfurt to take us to a third and final. Still a chance to stay in that upper bracket.
And for GX, who started this out dominant, now it comes into question whether this series will actually be theirs. Summit, we don't know what to expect from either of those teams. But Eintracht Valorant step in there knowing that they're in with a chance. Let's send it down to the sideline.
Monster playing Melee, who, unless I am mistaken, and I'm just looking at this wrong, has never played Waylay. So I think that's something that, if you're a Sentinel player who's never played Waylay, I'm always going to be a little bit tentative. No offense, Yetache, but you didn't set the best record for it.
Well,
all love, my guy. You're a great Sentinel.
Sample size is going to be a big part of the counter argument. We'll see if Monster can impress you here today. Already a dive into the B site and deep control taken, Flickless taken out, and damage done to Jesse. A solid start for Eintracht Frankfurt, and now looks like they're going to keep boots on the ground deep on site, looking for quite a bit of control, quite a bit of a fight. But they can take this together as well. It's the beautiful thing with that door closed. As soon as Swing comes out here from drop,
Right here.
oh, everyone except Jamelinho can be traded. They can swing together. He finds his one, all that needs to be done, with the numbers and the herd thinning out. Finally, we'll see that pistol fall into the hands of the attackers. Solid start.
Yeah, I think this is what I like about this composition is the opportunity for the double dive. Like, I think on the attack, like, we had that sort of opportunity in the past where we saw the likes of a DRX where they would just run something like this every single map. Of course, that was the stronger version of Yoros, but it was like, and the stronger version of Waylay, in fact. You jump in, you stun, one falls back, the other flies forward, and you sort of do it in that way. Now it's more synergized. You have to be at the same time into the site, but it means you can break through a lot of that utility, and you make things very, very uncomfortable if it is a solo site setup.
Well, now left to classics for GX. Catching a player off guard here would be great. The player that they would catch off, they kept going, only has a ghost. But anyone else, that damage will be felt. If not recovered by the end, it means they have to play a bit tighter on this attack side. And you can see that's very much the game plan from the get-go. The entire team, again, barring Musashi, who's taking a little bit of a risk, everyone else is just sat back on distance, waiting for GX to make a move. They'll put the drone through on A, see if that gets anything. Fizzy's going to slowly prod the B site. And the thing is, Fizzy's not going to get any contact. I think that's already going to tell you that either they're all sat there setting a trap, or they're looking to fight elsewhere. And that elsewhere is just being spotted. Now they've got info on 2 around mid, and Fizzy's out on the B site. But also, Musashi's out on the A site. They've got so many options.
Yeah, this Musashi play is likely just going to end up as a backstab. Flank being covered. Marshall up close. Fizzy just hoping to try and maybe just make some space for others. They've already got rid of Jamelinho, though. Oh, it's a labored dash away. But even still, a chance for them to clean up in the end. There should be a singular Bulldog left to be found, which they will collect, and that's all the rifles kept in for Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, you lose a Marshal, you lose a Ghost, a couple pieces of armor as well. Certainly not the end of the world for this squad. And I love how patient they are on this attack side, waiting for GX to group up. As soon as they spot the information on mid, again! It's time to move. And
hey, they've got more than one kill.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't exactly 11 kills on the board for Jamelinho. But Fizzy with a good start, 4-1, and confidence starting to swell on Eintracht's side. Now we move to round 3. The rifles in play for GX, and this is their chance to put an early stop to that momentum. Ara does well, but he's 30 HP. He needs to be a little bit cautious now.
Already dive into the site. Monster. It's not a role that he's normally playing with this dive in, but it seems something that he picked up the Phoenix. It looked good. And there's no doubt that he has the aim to back it up. Smokes down immediately. Musashi's well placed, but he doesn't win the fight. They're going to need trade backs. You know what? Monster's managed to find one. Ultimate's not yet built up, but Monster's got a second. Playing as that first player forward. Another one for Monster. He just takes over the round. A lower purchase of sorts. The Bulldog normally a weaker weapon, but it's not a weaker weapon for a Monster.
Well, we're already looking pretty good in the Waylay. I didn't see much of the kit in use
It was active there.
It could have went back.
Look. See? He went back after the round was over.
Obviously, it gave them the confidence to go for those last 2 kills, so we can say the Waylay had some role to play there, but that did look a little bit more like a Monster round. I've seen him do it even on the Sentinel, so they have said that. Perhaps too much about him. A 3-0 start. for the attacking side. Well, now that call that it's happening again starts to look a little more realistic. They're up against a very low buy from the defense here.
Standing ahead.
Pistols, a few stingers. And what should be easy to deal with for an attack side that so far has been very good at avoiding those stacks. I wouldn't necessarily say sniffing them out, but they have picked the open or the more easily available space the majority of the time.
Yeah, not sniffing them, feeling them out.
There you go. If you'd like to phrase it like that.
Yeah, I would.
All right. More power to you.
Hey, some of the phrasing used on the desk was much further over the line than that.
Well,
Either way, B site is definitely the place to be. Flickless, alone with a classic. He's going to maybe even take some damage from a shock dart. He is calling for the rotation, but Monster can take that space with ease, and he's even stuck around. Hasn't needed to refract out of this one. Now, Flickless in the corner is going to be waiting, but there's only so much he can do with a classic, and the opportunity for a 4-0 start looking very good, unless they can steal this gun from Monster.
Well, they have gotten the gun even from there. Much more needs to go their way, and Fizzy is ensuring that it doesn't. Rifle recovered and put to the ground very quickly. Recovered again, and at least one body will follow Jesse to the grave, but Jamalino with a decent start, a 3K in this round, and a 4-0 scoreline for the attack. Now, it has typically been the defense in EMEA that we've seen be the struggle for our teams. Though, so far, I think as far as GX are playing, even the re-clears into mid, the space that Westside was containing towards the A side and Con, didn't look that bad.
But it's also been backstabs. We've seen 0 backstabs. This has just been entries into the site. So it's like, it feels almost a little bit more worrying because it's not about GX losing space. It's about very fast-paced takes. Fine-track Frankfurt. Nonetheless, we'll see if they'll play a bit of a slow around here as we listen in to the comms.
Deploying
Right
drone.
now.
I can do it now.
Be close, right? I come right. I think KO and Tava be close.
Emerging.
Yeah, let's go.
Tava.
I'll handle this.
Wait, nothing closes. Passive up, passive up. Holding you.
Back in a flash.
One more, he's still there.
Careful, don't go die on them.
He's cave, cave.
Okay, you plant.
I plant. You're low, you're low.
Okay, they're not picking.
Smoke in 8. Smoke in 8.
You need to smoke something like here.
I can ulti,
Yeah,
guys. I can ulti.
Teleport.
Don't have the camera,
Cutting
maybe, no?
through.
I'm revealed.
Can you
I
smoke?
ulti, okay?
smoke.
Ulti.
Slow down.
Guys, I can stun flash.
Yes, can you stun and slide through? We'll trade you.
Stun inside.
Wait.
Someone
Sliding through.
Savan mid.
Side one, left side, boys.
I'll smoke.
Dead. One more, man, close.
Can you jump through? We'll trade you. Jump through.
Bro,
Jump through.
One link.
dead. I slide.
Get on, Jesse.
Get on, bro. Get on someone. He's
Fight behind the box. Fight. Everybody fight. Stick.
Last player standing.
Nice try, bro. Nice try. All good.
A little recognition is
An
nice.
unbelievable round from Musashi. The shock darts fired through when they called for the stick. Take the kill, put the pressure on, and he isolates every fight, even though they're pushing him together.
That's a crazy Rebel clutch.
Unbelievable.
That's so well done. Like the shock dart to remove a player, but then the thing is, you kind of, my perspective, maybe he puts a round of shock darts and then dies. The fact he gets the remaining 2 players as well, that is utter madness. Well, for Pipson, yeah, no surprise, the head in hands. They did well from the initial retake. Like they used the orbital strike to clear out some of those back corners. They're very aware of where a lot of the players are. It comes down to one Sova and his shock darts. And what Musashi, he was 1-1-1. He's now 5-1-1.
It's got to be frustrating as well from Net's perspective, though. He's calling everybody fight it together. I saw that diffuse bar continue to go up all the way to half. And I get it. In that moment, you think we got to get it half, then we can fight. But
perfect scenario to win that round. And while I mentioned it's happening again, they're now 5-0 into the lead. It's looking very good. Fine track Frankfurt on their first ever time playing the map. Now it is also the first time playing it for GX, but well, they're not 5-0 in the lead.
And they gave Musashi a small boost to his odds. But even fighting against them,
cutting through.
seems like Eintracht will need to be forced to make a bigger mistake here. 5-0, flawless beginnings, at least on that scoreboard. And for GX, look at what they're left with here. Yeah, there's ultis to bridge the gap. Ara has his, and especially on an eco round that can make a big difference. Jesse's gone for a rifle. Great, and a Hunter's Fury. Null command to play around. Or we could even end up with a Cypher ulti. But theft, it would be the theme of this round if GX were to claim it. Good damage to start, and there's that ult. This is the one thing I think can turn this fight, especially with Jamelinho on 2 HP. That laser can take him down with ease, but now it's gone. Luckily, he's got the rifle to fall back into.
Ara's always been one of the best with that overdrive, but unfortunately now the rifle's gone. They need the Sheriff of Westside to get something, and if not, Ara, well, he at least managed the one, but now he needs a 1v4 ace. He would slightly top what his teammate managed earlier in the day. And well, there's a first. Jamelino's still desperately low. This is where I don't want to see
him do that.
Amtrak Frankfurt guys over peak, and I guess Jamelino doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, I think you were going to mention you don't want the other guys who have health to fight to leave him on his own. I don't think many of us saw it. 2 HP.
I was just going to say I don't want anyone.
He swings in for this one, by the way. He was already 2 HP going for the backside play with his teammate. They said, oh, there's one dude with a Sheriff. Let's fight him. And then he goes for it at the end as well. It seems like there's not really much you can do.
I feel like the old guy in the park shouting at the kids skateboarding is like, you're going to hurt yourself. And then he does a sick kick flip and does like a backflip and then lands it. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're not. But next time you'll get hurt.
The kid running around at the restaurant, and he just isn't hitting the table.
Yes, this
yeah.
Not that you'd want that. I mean,
oh, I would.
But sometimes. I mean, I was just saying that for legal reasons.
You know. This is all theoretical.
They can't prove I stuck my foot out that time. All right, well, GX on the defense. It's time to pick up the pieces of what has been a broken half so far, and they've already found themselves 2. Looks like this B defense is being cracked. Much more passive approach. The Op of Ara holding down control, while Flickless is a menace when they take that back site. Nice paranoia, and this puts the pressure on Flickless. Ara might even want to step out to help him. Shock darts coming his way, but a little bit too deep and then a little bit too shallow. And so Flickless stands still strong on full HP. And no pressure really for GX. 40 seconds, and well, they wanted a pick before the plant, and a pick was found, just not by Eintracht.
A 2v4. I like the fact that GX are just sitting back to play the retake at this point. Now the TP can be used to go to the other side of the map. They've taken the orb just to try and plant on A. Maybe trying to just reset the round away from this post-plant retake. I like the idea. It's an ultimate that doesn't have a lot of value in a lot of scenarios. This is one where it could, because it allows Musashi to get into deeper positions. He hears the steps going the other way. Timing is going to be everything, though. Net might just be piecing the puzzle together. If he clears this man, he's got an opportunity, but there goes the first. I think he's going to get traded immediately, though. There you go. Net was the one piece that ruined Musashi's day. And now instead, Azuri has to try and clutch versus 3. It's labored. A little bit uncomfortable, but Jesse will get the job done in the end.
22 HP when the spam stopped. That got a little close. He had the chance to swing out and take a fight, but GX finally find their round on the board.
Same
their
as last
combo
time.
breaker after 6-0 down. And well, it was a very early call. We heard it down on that stage. Yeah. It's happening again.
Oh,
but
let's try. I saw it.
This is genuinely the second map all over again.
Yeah, I do think that GX have been more competitive in this one. The last one was, as I said, 1 kill in 5 rounds.
Not that controversial of a take.
But it's still not a great position for them to be in. Of course, they allowed this map through. There was a few maps that we haven't seen. Sunset being one of them. Fine Track Frankfurt. Breeze was also a permaban, but a lot of these are not strengths for GX, so they floated to Sunset instead. Even still, though, if they can climb this back to a relatively even half, that might not seem so bad. Already damage done onto Jamelinho, but he is playing with the operator. Pace picked up to try and take a lot of presence in towards mid. And if they were to go back in the other direction, there's a huge gap.
Well, there's already a gap in GX's mind. They could have walked past that broken door and wrapped around. Seconds from now, Flickless could be shot in the side of the head. It's something that they have to think about. At least from what we can see, that space hasn't been taken. It hasn't been challenged. The danger, only theoretical at the moment. That's about to change. The A site being pushed. Musashi challenging a West side who's got a single kill under his belt. He's been unlucky. This time he steps into a shock dart.
Right here.
Down to half
30
already.
seconds left.
And as the smoke fades, Jesse. Oh, he should have been in the sights of the operator! Jamalino with a rare miss. And it will be costly. Or at least it seems to be. Westside really having a struggle bus of a game.
One enemy remaining.
But it looks like
The spike.
it's all down to Fizzy. We should see that second round landed unless we've got another big clutch. Musashi did it earlier. Same position, different circumstance. For GX, this is a much needed round. It got a little shaky towards the end though.
No, it needed a hero play from Jesse. Like, it shouldn't have been as easy as that with 3 players staring directly at him, but I don't think they expected him to be just stood in the open behind the smoke, ready to take those fights. But this is the turning point of the round. He falls a little earlier, and who knows where it goes from here. But just as before, GX start incredibly slow, and then start to climb back into the game. Still, of course, you win 6 rounds in a row. Chances are, even if you lose a couple, you can still buy. But this is where the credits start to run at least a little thin for Eintracht Frankfurt.
All right, now, Tier 1 against Tier 2, and, well, we're even in rounds overall in the series. Eintracht have to be happy with the performance they've had here so far. Lotus definitely, they'll be happy as a distant memory at this point. But ever since then, they've looked competitive. Arguably, they've looked better on these last 2 maps. 4-round lead, but where do they go from here? What can they build on top of these foundations? As Eintracht look to scale into Flickless. The paranoia is missed. He's got a chance here. It's a bit whiffy to start with.
Yeah.
The nades got Jamalino.
Oh,
Run!
Orbital strike. Weirdly, there's not Brimstone on the other side, but either way, Ara's managed to keep the advantage going in their favor. Zuri also desperately low. Monster tagged. This is a very good position for GX. It's only really Musashi with any HP. He's had an incredible clutch earlier in the game, but it feels like he almost needs to clutch up here. Now, Flickless is tagged, but a trade isn't really going to cut it. They would still have a huge disadvantage. And well, it's not a trade at all. Flickless comes out with 3 in the round, props his stats up to even, and more importantly, gets a 3rd in a row. And as said, this is where the economy gets broken by Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, this is where they've been pushed
30 seconds left.
to the limit.
One enemy remaining.
Ara finding success on this operator 2nd time now towards the B site that he's been the one to manually pump the brakes of his opposition. And as we said, down.
Yeah.
And it was true. He was really picking up that heat early on, but now things have slowed down.
Now they're all sitting down.
They're all sitting down indeed. The tiredness of the day setting in.
Yeah, no standing desks here.
Well, Westside on the B site this time, and he is going to have to step it up. Flickless already tagged to 50. Westside's the one holding the line. Ara got 2 from this position in the last round. You best bet they're going to be looking to clear it. And Net got his weapon out in the nick of time. The tag already in for the trap. No kills converted just yet, but damage being done. And well, it's been an annoyance, but then Jamalino stood in the open, finds one. The trade at least comes in. It was Westside to fall, though. That Cypher utility out of play, and a bit of a pump of the brakes from Eintracht. They've sent players back in the other direction, happy to play with the map, and where they're heading towards, seemingly, yeah, indeed, where they are heading towards only has 1 man, and Ned is not in a position that he can back off easily. He's the only one on this side of the map. He doesn't want to expose himself to A main. It's why he's so committed, but it gives them a chance to put the pressure on up close. That paranoia good. Monster's left on 1 HP, but it's enough to maybe even get them a plant.
Yeah, I think it's a plant, but that's about it. I'm looking at the overdrive if it's needed. from Ara, and I think that would clear out the round.
It's worth using, surely.
The full focus now has to be on Azuri. An Odin, full HP. There's the overdrive. A single particle of that beam connects onto Monster, and this is a freebie. Odin, definitely not the best gun for this scenario. Now Monster needs a clutch. He's somehow come out with one. Already, though, sticking onto that defusal. And Jesse's got the kill anyway. The ultimate gone at the value of pretty much nothing. And again, from 6-0 up, it starts to be that streak back from Giant X. I don't know what it is about going 6-0 down, but they are not happy to go 7-0 down.
Oh, no. No, that is where they draw the line. Yeah, the ult.
Nobody beats us 7-0.
Nice ult. Let's go. Good ult.
The ult definitely looks silly when you've got all the info to play with. I'm guessing that he assumed GX would learn from the mistakes of sticking last time, ended up costing them the round, so that this time around maybe they don't, but there were no shock darts, there was no low HP player, there was no reason to give that up with Ara taking the fight towards the box like that. It would have been a mistake from GX, as we can see. Round 1, 6-4 now. On this defensive side, they may have taken their time getting here, but they are on their way to neck and neck. Fighting for an even half. Good stun. Just caught Jesse. He's dead to rights.
He's been good as well. Been one of the better players for GX in this series. Had a fantastic first map. Monster still facing very aggressively. Hunter's Fury off context. Got to be careful not to just kill Monster in the process, but it won't. Instead, it gets Westside on the trade. His aggressive position seemed to be known by Flickless, but knowing and dealing with a Monster, well, sometimes you have to go looking under the bed. It's Ara now to just try and hide within the wardrobe, not face his demons, and hold on to that operator for another day. Eintracht Frankfurt will get themselves a victory in the half. Again, they might be sat there thinking that it could have been so much more, but I think the most important thing is holding on to that lead. And although on the map it looks like they will be very close together with the door closed, Ara is very much safe.
Last round before the switch.
Now that op is carried forward. Perhaps a spark of hope for GX, but there's a real chance we're staring at an 8-4 half for Eintracht. They let it slip for a moment. They come back in here confident. Big round for Monster as well. He has been one of those guys who, it seems round to round, feast or famine, expected when it comes to that attack side. Tip of the spear action. But he's getting away with it more often than not.
Yeah, he basically has to become an Olympic diver. And then as he finishes the perfect execution, needs to try and pull out a gun and shoot people in the face. It's not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination, but he has done a good job of it. Ara has been one of the glimmers of hope. The drone comes through, but it was actually Giamolino ahead of it, trying to really pressure this man, and he will come out on top in the fight. Hunter's Fury with a chance to do a large amount of damage, and Giamolino will fall for it. That keeps things level, at least for now. And with a deep trip in position, they are going to bypass what is the majority of this defense. In fact, they are all committed to A.
Absolutely perfect. Of course, Westside left to use that ultimate. The only corpse that they had was towards the A site, and now, even when they broke his trip, he didn't go back. They were comfortable that we have to pop the ult, we have to play the retake. Monster down below is being revealed, the nade to deal damage as he gets out, but get out he does. Fizzy sticks around, he's in trouble here, or maybe not. Fizzy's got a double in the blink of an eye. It's an Eintracht round, 8-4 at the halftime on map number 3. We thought that this was gonna fade with a whisper after the start being so poor, but Eintracht Frankfurt are here to play. Maybe not here to stay, but perhaps they should be. While we wait for this second half, folks, we've got a little message from the SGE fans for all of our VCT EMEA teams. Take a look at this.
This might be on the card. Still a very long road to go, but getting that first victory, of course, making it to the playoffs is the goal for now. But if you would like to join us, make sure you scan that QR code. You can get your tickets now. 8-4. Eintracht Frankfurt, 4-round lead. A pistol could make that 10, and just 3 away from winning their first series in that Tier 1. But GX stand in their way.
Eintracht on the early flank, 3 players already pressing the back lines, breaking the trip and sending net back to, well, rip one of their heads clean off. That's Monster. We talked about having that solid first half. He's been dealt with early on in the pistol. Eintracht still looking to break their way back in, but it's a little fragmented. Fizzy on his own goes down. Musashi a little further behind, eventually finds that trade. A second in his hands, but 3 more needed. He has a good idea. He's trying to bait Ara out, at least he was, but, well, Ara won't even be needed. Net takes over, and then much needed pistol round for GX. A loss here could have sent them spiraling behind, but instead, a chance to close that gap early on.
Yeah, I think this is where we'll see a true test of how this double duelist Eintracht Frankfurt is going to work, because you've got a lot of space that you could take with potential fallback. I think a lot of early duels that can go in your direction. But it can be difficult with the amount of gaps that could be left. I think Fizzy's going to be incredibly important with whether he's locking down one side of the map and you have roaming players, or if he's going to hold on to a lot of that middle control. Either way, this round expectations are that GX will get this within 2. It's just how many players they lose along the way. Anything more than 2 players is a costly round.
Now the numbers moving towards the B site. Smoke available to make it uncomfortable, maybe give Fizzy the chance to fight from the side, but now he's been revealed. That camera spotting him as he runs all the way back. And somehow, yeah, the spams were chasing him.
Still took 0 damage.
He was revealed, pinged, and pinged another way as well. The physical ones from the Z key, but no, he's still healthy back there. 3 players still waiting on this B site, and the options very limited for GX. They have a trip covering their back, but they've lost mid, they've lost A. They know it as well. There's no choice here but to go forward. Utility doesn't clear out these players. Instead, they can comfortably fight from the side. Fizzy, it's not the best weapon to pick up, not up close like that, and, well, it hasn't helped him a whole bunch. Musashi caught. And finally, Gemelino's here to help that mid flank coming through, but coming through a little too late. 6 to 8, and I think for what that could have been, a successful enough round for GX. It could have been way more costly running into the numbers.
They kept the 3 rifles.
Exactly.
That's the main thing to take away from that round. They're going to come into this next one with 4, so it's definitely not the end of the world. It was a little bit uncomfortable. I think Fizzy being able to survive for a full minute when you've revealed him twice, I think he sent through shock darts, a frag grenade, like, he should have at least taken a bit of damage from all of that. And if that's a sign to come, I am a little bit nervous for them. This is the aggression I'm talking about, though. The potential to go for those contact level plays. Even still, Fizzy sat in the corner. Gemelino swings wide. That's so aggressive. And now with Fizzy alone with the judge in the corner, it's something you expect them to check. Okay, never mind. I feel like it's the most obvious corner in the map, but we move on.
Yeah, well, that's a big upgrade for Fizzy. Got himself a rifle now. Musashi down to 5 HP. Monster caught TPing back. It's an uncomfortable one indeed. Eintracht, a man down. A chance here for Fizzy, unfortunately. Although they could see Ara's leg, they haven't been able to convert onto him. And now the info is there. No chance for Eintracht to extend that lead. Instead, GX have fought their way to just 1 round behind. And it was with some mistakes in that round as well. Now they face off against what should be an eco. We can see them neck and neck. The worries of the first half already dissipating.
Yeah, I think it's from both sides. Like, you've got, obviously the TP there is a little bit more of a blatant one, but I also just think Gemelino was so ahead of the curve. Like,
yeah, I think he had a gate crash and then the knife hit, and that's where you're in the middle of the open. The knife's coming, you got to TP out. But he decided to stick around.
Yeah, but it's also, he's wide swinging and his teammate is hiding in a corner with a judge. It's like, those feel like 2 very, very different game plans for a defensive hold. Pistols, though. Oh, okay! The Musashi collapse. That's not bad. Arrow. Oh, there you go. Kalat into Kalat. Anything you can do, I can do better. Musashi's ult is not going to have the desired impact, and they haven't been able to retrieve any of the weaponry. There's still a lot of hope in this round for Eintracht Frankfurt to stop their opponents from leveling. But even still, I'm actually a little bit nervous with the attack. They're the ones splitting up and looking for clues, but they feel like they've got to clear some of these angles.
And also, Ara doesn't want to leave those weapons and see them recovered so easily by a Musashi he knows was there moments ago. Makes sense. And they have at least avoided being picked off. The door closing here lets Westside focus on his elbow, and well, Musashi knew he had a 1v1. Heard the spike being planted. Either he gets out and hides behind the box, or he has a duel that, well, is more favorable than it would be now. But he didn't have his teammate by his side. Now Fizzy's left all by his lonesome. Recovered the pistol of his buddy. He'll move into, well, what seems to be a chance to isolate both fights. Westside's in the worst position. Luckily, Ara's there to recover what was a fumble and what should have been an economic round, like a big chance to build up credits for GX. It ends up being less of a happy story for them.
Yeah, no, honestly, both teams getting a little bit of luck with Kalat's. I think if it's not for Aras, this could have been a very, very different round, but he's going to be the one to get the job done.
Let's go, Warrior! You're
You're for real, my guy, he said.
Yeah, Eintracht Frankfurt now going to get themselves a pause. 4 rounds in a row. This is the first proper bye
in a row. Some gaps exploited in that previous round. Some early aggression rewarded for Eintracht. For GX, it's all about keeping that momentum going. 4 in a row, but they are the team that's not expected to be trading blows with Eintracht. They should be taking the lead. And let's see how they do that with the listen in.
Yeah, I can catch deep.
He's wait, I will stun him. Let's go and play on him. Stunning him.
Flash.
80 on him. Holding. 80 close, 80 close. One CT. Don't stop inside. We have it. Yo, just, yo, someone can plant. Someone can plant.
Yeah.
You have link for me?
I'm gonna plant for.
Nice, I play behind the box.
That's all.
Nice, nice. Droning city, boys. I cannot break.
I'm tagged. I'll fight off you, Aura. I'll fight off you.
I see the cross to side, boys, okay?
Minus 80 Cypher.
I see the cross to side.
Yup, I'm off you. Uda.
Sova city.
You can hold from the box. I'm picking off you.
80 on Cypher. Blind.
Outlink, maybe Yara.
In link.
In the link smoke. Look, hold it. In the link smoke.
In the side.
80 on Cypher.
I'm side.
Don't side Cypher. They tap, guys. Could be on.
1K. 1K.
Off, chill.
Chill. Bait me.
Yes. Everybody Buddha. We're okay.
Yeah. Just play time, guys. Play time. Be annoying.
Jesse, never peek. Never peek.
Yeah, I'm not. It's fine. Just keep sucking it. Fucking Tara.
What goes first?
Well, Musashi's brought it down to a 1v2. It seems doable. He'll tap the spike to draw them in, but I think made a step just after. Flickless more than ready for that swing, and 9 on the board. The lead is there for the team that looked to have this locked down after map 1. But here on the final, on the third, on the decider,
I know exactly.
they've done just enough to put themselves ahead.
Yeah, I think it was a fairly comfortable round, like, especially after the openers. The only thing that made me a little bit nervous was, I think it was Harris saying, like, I've got the cross to sight, and then Vizzy just walks across.
Yeah, he walked in and killed Westside. He walked in and killed Westside. I would have been so mad if Westside's having a bad enough game without us just letting people shoot him in the back, bro. Can we give him a chance?
He got 2 kills from that, but they take the round in the end. Monster now going to try and get aggressive. This is kind of what I was expecting a little bit more of. This defensive side, like you have the Yori, you have the Waylay, but we haven't really seen them getting aggressive and getting those openers. A lot of it has been ending up in retakes. Maybe it's just the timing of the pushes and the fact that we have seen a lot of GX grouping up. But now at least though, that attack once again just taking their time, clearing out the map, and although there's an aggressive position from Musashi, he doesn't really have the gun for this.
Well, he doesn't have a gun at all as he gets shot at, but out comes the stinger, and that is quite a sting, quite a blow to GX. Shock dart in, that's a lot of damage. And that's a little bit more, down to 68. Westside's having a rough day. I feel like every shock dart that comes near him lands on him. Sometimes through no fault of his own. A plant found, but honestly, with Westside low and a man advantage to work with, this looks like a real opportunity for Eintracht to put a stop to GX's momentum.
No ults to play with. Weapons also low. That's what makes it that bit tougher. Paranoia setup. They need to try and close the gap. They need to try and clear Ara from this close corner. They've not done it. They've given him an opportunity. Immediately pops the ult, and that post plant is sublime. Not a single player dropped, barely any damage done. And now GX hightailing their way to the finish. 6 rounds in a row from both teams to start this attack side. And now it's whether or not Eintracht Frankfurt have the same resilience as their opponents to start their climb back here.
Well, they certainly showed us that ability we talked about in the last map to hit and get the hit while hitting. And I think that for them, it is tougher to do when you come to a map that you haven't got a lot of reps on. It's tough to do when GX seem to have fixed a lot of their issues, although I will say there's still some gaps here or there. It's not a completely clean game, but it's the openers that have been going for them. Last time around, Ara finding a lot of success here. Jamalino, quiet for the first time in a while. Stepping forward to look for this battle. The spams leave him low, but alongside Monster, it's enough to take Ara down. Man advantage for the defense. The only problem here is Fizzy does not have a way out. He's now surrounded. There's a smoke out in spawn. No one's here to help him. The Trips not even in a position to stop them as they exit this choke point, yet still Fizzy finds one, does damage onto another. Ult through for Monster, and he's through as well! Through with this, through with them, and through with losing 10-9. Eintracht, they've closed the gap to 1. It's not too late.
Yeah, maybe we're going to have an identical half for either side as the exact same break point as their opponents. But as you said it, that was a monster round. Just using his own ultimate, breaking through the setup of the opposing side. And an individual play like that can be enough to ignite the flame of Eintracht Frankfurt. Even still, though, the economy is there for a repurchase. The ultimate of that Hunter's Fury available. The spam not quite getting as much as maybe they would have hoped. It is audacious, but both players with the ability to escape.
Doing a thing.
Yeah, even stunned up, Monster can dash far enough to make it back to the A site, out of that choke point and back to safety. Early attempt from GX, not landing them the advantage they looked for. Both teams resetting from that A main aggression to look for mid control. Both teams running into each other at this moment, but they don't know about Monster with the Hunter's Fury going through. They might step into his lair as Monster, the beast that he is, takes another triple. GX, they thought they had the upper hand, but when it came time to cash it in, Monster was standing in their way, and he hasn't gone anywhere. The drone will send him forward once more. And now with the spike under their control, Eintracht seem to have this round cracked. Monster will be caught out though. The peek on the back of the reveal has drawn his eye for long enough. 3v2, GX still have a chance.
Fizzy, he's been a nuisance on this side of the map. All the way since the pistol, he's been a survival artist. 15 seconds left, he's just waiting and he doesn't connect the shot. Net is faster.
10 seconds left.
Monster seem to have ended this round, but GX have still got enough fight in them. So many angles to clear. That's the problem of this site. Many cubbies, hidey holes, and you can see both players sat within them. The cam even going to get a little bit of additional information. Net might just go unchecked. We've already seen this once or twice, off angles being the difference maker. The dark, they're walking straight through, and that could be enough. It will be. Net with a fantastic response to what we saw from Monster, and a round that almost should have been Eintracht Frankfurt's might be their undoing.
Yeah, this team was picking up advantage after advantage on the back of Monster. A sneaky position to start with, but then he stood his ground. Strong in every fight, but it fell apart at the seams in the late round.
Let's go! Let's go!
A Cypher ultimate that gave them direction. but they still had to make it past Fizzy, a man who has stood against the odds and refused to falter. But this time around, it was too much of an ask. Jamelinho, the hero of old, back anew. And he's given them a man advantage.
And there's some weaknesses in this. That's why you're still seeing a proactive defender, maybe hoping to even get the gun that has been sacrificed for those 2 kills. Flickless instead trying to defend it. Actually maybe trying to force Missouri out of position. It's a good spam from Jesse. It leaves the Omen low, but support has already rotated in. I'm looking on the other side of the map though. Net's about to start trying to push and probe and maybe put some doubt into the minds of these defenders. Even still though, it's another spam from Jesse that leaves a player low. He's making things uncomfortable on that side.
There's a problem. When Net breaks this trip, they'll know what's going on. And look at Monster's position. Pushed up in A main, where GX seem to be going back towards. The Cypher setup's going to make you believe they're playing passive. You're going to run around. Often when you're knife out, Jesse's got his rifle up, but... Oh, they've caught him! Jesse put his rifle away, but Flickless was suspicious. On this angle, if Net sits on this trip all round, he could catch them completely unaware. 12 seconds, a plant is undeniable at this point. And the flank coming through from Musashi. Oh, Hunter's Fury! Oh, it was close to closing the round, but a little too late. Won't find the kill, and the trip's been broken. They should know about Net now, at least, but they don't seem to. They're completely unaware. It was the ult that put it down and allowed Net to slip through.
Molly set for the post plant. Again, the goal is to try and buy time before needing that push. Fizzy on the swing first, but it is a cleanup from Jesse. He did an unfathomable amount of damage early in this round, maybe without even realizing, just from the spams. And again, an advantageous position, an opportunity that, again, you could argue should have been Eintracht Frankfurt's round, but potentially that inexperience being the difference. Monster looked like he'd be the hero of the last round, may just be the villain of this one. Not being able to find anything from that aggressive position gave them the route through. And now GX, one of the next 3. Oh yeah, the job of the day is done for Pipson, although the heart rate might be a little higher than he'd like.
That was a great ult from Flickless to put them in that position, to allow Net to slip the net and make it through that trap wire. Find the flanker of Musashi. Now look at Eintracht. They want to fight mid. They haven't given away too much info either, so it's not like GX know there's a lot of presence there. It's not like they'll immediately accelerate into the A site as a result, but they do start to pick up the pace in this direction. And seeing that it's wide open, the further that they get, the more prepared West side is going to be for a flank to come through. Although no such flank.
Oh, the post plants have been good. Maybe that's why Jamelinho wants to try and get ahead of this. Ult being used, a chance maybe for him to get a kill. This is an awkward position, and eventually he will get one. It's left to the 2v2. Flickless with 4 already in the round. Wants to try and close this out as Fizzy, who's had a good map, but this is not the gun for this, not the weapon of his choosing. A chance for the ace, but instead it's more important to just hold that line. The tap trying to bait them in, trying to hope that they make a mistake on the spams, and maybe they have done. Down to the 1 versus 1, but I don't think he realizes where Westside is. The reveal will give him that info, but so desperately low. Westside is there to close. GX get the job done just about. But it was a fight from start to finish.
We came here to test the tier 1, and they might have passed this exam, but it wasn't with flying colors. It wasn't without difficulty. Down on that stage, Eintracht looked in so many moments like they belonged.